Shalom, shalom, we are the disciples of Yahushua. We come out here day in and day out, teaching that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the original Jews of the Bible. Now, the Most High, Power Yahweh, commands us to keep His laws, statutes, and commandments, which is our heritage. Now, a lot of us, we don't know that we are the chosen people of God, that we are a peculiar treasure. We are above every nation on the planet of this earth. The Lord has chosen us to be His prized possession, and He has given our ancestors the laws, statutes, and commandments, because we are a people of royalty. Now we are destroyed because we don't know the laws of God. And because we do not know the laws of God, it is right that we get punished for disobeying the laws of God. So the Lord is stretching out His arm to the 12 tribes of Israel, that you come back into your true heritage, and that you get up out of these religions. The book of Hosea, chapter 4 and verse 6. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, because thou hast rejected knowledge. I will also reject thee, that thou shalt be no priest to me, seeing thou hast forgotten the law of thy God. I will also forget thy children. The children of Israel, we are destroyed for the lack of knowledge, because we do not know the laws of God. That is the reason why a lot of us die a violent death. The laws of God are easy to obey, but it is only us who forsake the Lord. The Lord never forsakes us. We say that it's too hard. We say that it's too hard to obey the Lord's word, but yet we say we love Christ. How do you love Christ if you disobey what Christ obeyed? We are destroyed for lack of knowledge. So because we lack the observation of the laws of God, we die a violent death. And because we lack the observation of the laws of God, we die a violent death, and the Lord will not use us. The Lord will not use a disobedient man to be His priest. The Lord will not use a disobedient man to wake up His people, because that man, he rejects the laws of God. When you reject the laws of God, you will not be able to do this. When you reject the laws of God, you will not be able to change the laws of the 12 tribes of Israel. When you reject the laws of God, the Lord will reject you, and you will not be a priest unto the Lord's people. You will not be able to minister, to serve, to teach the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans who are lost. Because a lot of us, we are the chosen people of God. We are the original Jews of the Bible. Every other nation knows it but us. So because we know not the knowledge of the Lord will not use us as a priest. And the Lord will reject our children. The reason why the Lord will reject us, because we have forgotten the law of God. We have forgotten how to keep the Sabbath day. We have forgotten that the Lord says that we should not bow down to idols. But yet, On every American holiday, you bow down to an idol when you sit at the table with your family to eat. That is idolatry. So when we reject the laws of God, when we forsake the laws of God, the Lord will reject us, and He will reject our children. So the commandments that you break, the punishment doesn't have to fall on you. It can fall on your child. The book of Proverbs, chapter 1, verse 20. Wisdom crieth without. She uttereth her voice in the streets. She crieth in the chief place of concourse, in the openings of the gates. In the city she uttereth her words, saying, How long, ye simple ones, will ye love simplicity? And the scorners delight in their scorn, and fools hate knowledge. So, how long will the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans continue to be idol worshipers? How long will the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans continue to break the Sabbath? How long will the 12 tribes of Israel convert to Islam? How long will the 12 tribes of Israel convert to Christianity? How long will you disobey the laws of God? How long will you not come to your true nationality of who you are? The Chinese man knows he's the Chinese man. The Arabian men and women knows that they're Arabian. But the black men and women do not know that they are the original Jews of the Bible. You know that those white people in Israel want to be you? If those white people in Israel want to be you, if they're trying to keep your culture and your heritage because they want to be you, then what does that tell you? It should tell you that everybody want to be us, but we don't want to be ourselves. Even though the Lord is stretching out His hand and He's speaking through the mouth of the prophets. So it is a fool who hates knowledge, right? So, like you got a lot of us want to indulge in wicked activity. The laws of God are what give you structure in your life. And when you obey the laws of God, you have structure in your life. Even though you have structure in your life, certain situations will be prevented because you have that life of structure, which the laws of God will give you a structured life. Things you can do, things you cannot do, the way that you act, things that you cannot act. Every nation knows that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the original Jews of the Bible. But it is only us who hate structure. We hate to serve the Lord. Fools hate the knowledge of the Lord. But hating the knowledge of the Lord comes at a cost. It comes at a price. You will not be able to disobey the laws of God and will not have to suffer the consequence. Proverbs chapter 1, verse 23. Turn you at my reproof. Behold, I will pour out my spirit unto you. I will make known my words unto you. When you let the Most High correct you of your wrongs, the Lord will pour His spirit onto you. And then the Lord will bestow His spirit of boldness upon you. And you will be used by the Lord. He will use you as a prophet to speak His words unto the 12 tribes of Israel. not only have the Lord poured His Spirit upon you, but be as though the Lord poured His Spirit upon you, your observation of the laws of God and apply them to your lives. That is how the Lord will continue to deal with you if you remain diligent in doing so. Verse 24, because I have called and ye refused, I have stretched out mine hand, and no man regarded. But ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. So, if you observe the laws of God, the Lord will put His Spirit upon you, and He will use you to be on the corners and wake up the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans. You are the original Jews. This is how the Lord is stretching out His hand to His people that are lost, that do not know their identity, that do not know their customs, their culture, nor their heritage. The Lord has put His Spirit on a brother, on His son, who seeks after the Lord's heart. Now the Lord is stretching out His hand unto those who are lost, which are the 12 tribes of Israel. By the words of the prophets. Verse 25, but ye have set at naught all my counsel, and would none of my reproof. I will also laugh at your calamity. I will mock when your fear cometh. So, a lot of us, we don't like to hear that if you disobey the commandments of God, He will put you to death. Your punishment, your judgment will be getting put to death for your disobedience. A lot of us, we don't want to take counsel from the Lord. A lot of us, we don't want to be reproved by the Lord. A lot of us, we love our sinful nature. So because we love our sinful nature, it will come at a price, and it will come at a cost. When your fear comes upon you, the Lord will deliver your fear unto you, simply because you're disobedient to His commandments. Being disobedient to the commandments of God comes at a cost. Everything might seem good. Everything might seem okay. But when you disobey God, a price will come. And that price for disobeying God is destruction. Verse 27, when your fear cometh as desolation, and your destruction cometh as a whirlwind, when distress and anguish cometh upon you, then shall they call upon me, but I will not answer. They shall seek me early, but they shall not find me. For they that hated knowledge and did not choose the fear of the Lord. So when you hate the knowledge of God, the Lord, He will deliver your judgment and your punishment upon you. And anything that comes upon you, the Lord will laugh and He will mock when your fear cometh upon you, because you refuse to come into the Lord's commandments. You refuse to come into His law. How long will the 12 tribes of Israel be rebellious into the commandments of God? There's going to come a time where there will be a famine of the Lord's word, and the prophets of the Lord will not be on the street corners, in different cities and states. And young men and young women will look for the prophets of the men up and down the streets, and we will not be able to be found. Once all hell breaks loose on this world, then we're going to go in hiding. We're going to be covered in the Lord's rebellion. The wicked will be destroyed, but those who serve the Lord and keep His commandments, we will prevail. We will come out on top. Laugh now, and you cry later. When you pray into the Lord will not hear your prayers, because He does not hear the prayers of a sinner. Now you have the mark. Now God, He has a mark. And the mark of God is to be obedient to His commandments. Now those who do not have the mark of God, they're marked for death. Ezekiel chapter 9 in verse 1. He cried also in mine ears, saying, cause them that have charge over the city to draw near, even every man with his destroying weapon in his hand. So, the Most High is going to command the angels. These angels, they have weapons in their hands. And they're going to use these weapons to put to death those who disobey God's commandments. And behold, 6 men came from the way of the higher gate, which lay toward the north, and every man a slaughtering weapon in his hand. And one man among them was clothed with linen, with a rider's cord by his side, and they went in and stood beside the brazen altar. Now the angels of the Lord, they keep record and they take account of who's obeying the Lord's commandments and who's disobeying the Lord's commandments. And when they take record of who's being obedient and who's being disobedient unto the Lord, they go and they give a report unto God. Now, this is what will happen to those who have a bad report. Ezekiel chapter 9 and verse 4. And the Lord said unto him, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and that cry for the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So the angels of God, they're taking record of who's obeying the Lord's commandments and who's not. They're taking record and writing everything down. So when they take record of who's obeying God's commandments, they're writing the names down. And they're watching. And they're looking at everyone, every man who's on a corner, crying in silence, speaking loud like a trumpet, telling the nation of Israel about their transgressions and their sins, and how if we keep committing these abominable acts, we will be put to death. Those are the men that cry inside for the abominations that be done. The angels of the Lord, they take account. Verse 5, and to the others he said in mine hearing, go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. So those who obey the commandments of God, the angels are taking record account, writing the report, and going back up to heaven to report unto the Lord of those who are being obedient to his commandments. So those who are being obedient to God's commandments, those who obey God's commandments, the angels of the Lord will protect them. But those who are disobedient unto the Lord's commandment, the angel of the Lord will smite, will kill, will destroy those who disobey the commandments of God. Verse 6, slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, women, but come not near any man upon whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. So, the mark of God are placed upon those who keep his commandments, but those who disobey, the young will be killed, the old will be killed, the men will be killed, the women will be killed, because they disobey the commandments of God. The elders, the elderly people, the reason why the majority of us do not know that we should obey the commandments of God is because the elderly people have not taught us. And because since the elderly people have not taught us to follow the Lord, they too will be put to death. The wicked, those who disobey the commandments of God, yes, they will die. But those who obey the commandments of God, evil will not come their way. They will not die of starvation. They will not die of thirst. They will not die a violent death. They will not get pulled over by a cop and get shot. The disobedient of the law of God. Those who disobey God, they die a violent death.
No, I got a couple things I want to do. Bye, babe. I'll see you later.
Now, if you look at every nation of people on this earth, the Chinese, Japanese, they got their culture, heritage, language. The Caucasians, they got their culture, heritage, language. The Arabians, they got their culture, heritage, language. But blacks, we follow the culture of the slave masters. Shalom, bro, you got a question?
Yeah, did you ever do your tribe? Know what your tribe is?
Yeah, I'm from the tribe of Judah.
No, exactly the tribe. You know, like DNA. You did the DNA.
Yes.
Um, what tribe does it match to?
Judah.
Before Judah, not before Judah. Like you say, it's a Igbo or Lembe.
The 12 tribes of Israel consist of no African people.
I-
Igbo.
I would probably
Say it again?
I'll probably differ from you because I'm from the 12 tribes, and I know this is my family too. We know exactly who our tribe is, and we're African, and we're still from the 12.
So when you say you're African, like,
From
are
a-
you African?
I'm actually here. So
Are you a descendant of Ham, or are you a descendant of Shem?
No, we're not descended of him. You already know that.
So you
But we
Shemites.
know, but still we know our tribe. My point was, there's a thing called African ancestry, and it shows you. I'm gonna give you a point. His name that just died, Black Panther, Chad Boswick. If you look it up on Breakfast Club, he says he used the exact same one. It's called African Ancestry. It's in DC. They've been there for 20 years. They'll match you to your exact tribe, and you'll know he matched his tribe, and that's how he knew he was from the 12. Because that 12 is still present in Africa now.
So
I'm not saying, I'm only giving you that as the information so that maybe you could do it. I agree with you. I agree. In fact, off camera, we're going to do a lot of things. I'm telling you. But you got to know who your tribe is to complete that circle for yourself and still know that you're from the 12. You feel me? African ancestry is in DC. Look them up. Get it through your mother's tongue. And you'll see a difference.
all right, let me ask you a question. Do you keep the commandments of God?
I'm a Muslim, so yes.
So do you know where Ishmael is, right?
Of course.
All right, so the chosen people of God, the children of Israel, they come out of Isaac. They don't come out of Ishmael.
I'm going to explain to you why you're right, but you haven't evolved yet. Because what was the purpose of the 12 tribes? No, serious, real talk. You can look it up later. What was their purpose?
To be the chosen people of the Lord, to let their light shine.
And to whom?
To the 12 tribes of Israel.
No, to the rest of mankind as an example. Every time they were cursed because they didn't uphold that.
Because of their disobedience.
Right. So the mantle had to pass to the brother. So the brother now, that doesn't say that we are actually still highly anointed, but we still have to lead mankind. Guess who's still leading mankind? Who's leading mankind right now? Who culture they adopt? Who language they adopt? Who music they adopt? We have a chance to lead, but we're not leading. In morality, in showing them unity, and picking up trash just because we can, because this is my Lord's earth first.
I hear you.
You get what I'm saying? We gotta lead, and then they'll follow. All of them. I guarantee you that.
Hear this out, right? You say you're from Islam, you're a Muslim, right? Now this is proof that the chosen people, that they come from Isaac and Jacob, right? These chosen people, these are the people whom the Lord made a covenant with.
You will never get the Muslims to disagree with you. You know that, right? They all know that.
So listen, right? If I'm gonna get this for you. Hear this, right? The book of Genesis.
No, without all the language. We're talking regular.
I'm working right now.
I know. All right, then I'm gonna give you my number. We'll talk off camera.
All right, definitely, for sure.
You got it? You ready? Oh, I'll come back and catch you. I'm out here with my son. I'll catch you before, and we're gonna talk and we're gonna build.
All right, yeah,
because we got a lot of stuff to do.
For sure.
All right.
Sure, you gotta come back to your heritage, man.
This it. Trust me.
Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
The same. How come the same way that black men and black women in Islam, the Arabic men and Arabic women in Islam, they don't greet y'all the same way?
We already understood that.
But how come?
We understand You mentioned all of it, but you're not putting it together, bro. And I'm gonna help you put it together later, because I know you're working. I seriously am. We're still cursed regardless. All right, shalom.
We are the chosen people of the Lord. The chosen come out of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Ishmael. The chosen people does not come out of whom? The Arabian people. They know their culture. The Arabian people, they know their heritage. Their culture and their heritage is Islam. When you do not know your heritage and your culture and what people you belong to, you cleave into other people, and you cleave into their heritage, and then you call their heritage, their culture, their customs, you call it your own. The Lord has discontinued us from our heritage because of our disobedience. The book of Jeremiah, chapter 17 and verse 4. And thou, even thyself, shalt discontinue from thine heritage that I gave thee, and I will cause thee to serve thine enemies in the land which thou knowest not. The Lord said, and we, the 12 tribes of Israel, the blacks and Hispanics and Native Americans who are lost, the Lord said that we will be discontinued from our heritage. The Chinese, they are not discontinued from their heritage. The Japanese, they are not discontinued from their heritage. The Arabians, they are not discontinued from their heritage. The East Indians, they are not discontinued from their heritage. The heritages and the cultures of these other nations, they are strong. But the heritage of the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we do not know, because we've been discontinued from our heritage because of our disobedience to the laws of God. That is why we do not know that we are the original Jews of God. That is why we do not know that we should keep the commandments of the Most High, because we have been discontinued from our heritage. Not only that we have been discontinued from our heritage, but we are also made to serve our enemies in the land that we do not know. The enemies that we serve are those who put us in slavery, which are the Caucasians, the Africans, the Arabs. Those are our enemies. Because the reason that those are our enemies, because we disobeyed the commandments of the Lord. We are discontinued from our heritage. Nobody knows what the Passover is. Nobody knows how to keep the commandments of God, but they say they love Christ. Nobody loves the Lord really. Nobody really loves Christ. So, those who say that they love Christ and keep not the Father's commandments, they do not love Christ, nor do they love the Father. discontinue death from our heritage, right? How come Black, Hispanic, and Native American people, we are the only people that keep all these American holidays?
Yes, I love it.
We are the only ones who keeps these American holidays. We keep the heritages of our enemies alive, but yet we do not even know our own heritage. Well, the laws of God it is our heritage. Psalms chapter 149. Chapter 19. He showeth his word unto Jacob, his statutes and his judgments unto Israel. He hath not dealt so with any nation. And as for his judgments, they have not known them. Praise ye Yahweh. The Most High have showed his statutes and his judgments unto the nation of Israel. The Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we are the original Jews of God. We are the original Jews of the Bible. We are the Lord's chosen people. The judgments, the statutes of the Lord have been shown unto our forefathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, and every other nation. They do not know the laws of God, nor do they know his judgments. Now, the fact that we don't know our heritage, it is a sign that we are the 12 tribes of Israel. It is a sign that we are the chosen people of God. It is a sign that we are the very people who God deals with in this book. The book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, and verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever. So the fact that we don't know that we are the original Jews, the fact that we don't know our heritage, that is a sign that we are the chosen people of God. Because every nation of people, they know their heritage, they know their culture, their customs, the language that they speak. We are the only ones who do not know. Why? Because we disobeyed the commandments of God. So, because of our disobedience, we have been discontinued from our heritage. 28 and verse 68. And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again with ships by the way whereof I spake unto thee. Thou shalt see it no more again, and there ye shall be sold unto your enemies for bondmen and bondwomen, and no man shall buy you. The very fact that our ancestors went through the transatlantic slave trade, that is in this Bible, that is a sign that because of the disobedience of the children of Israel, they were going to go into captivity, into bondage, into slavery again. And they were going to go into bondage, into slavery by slave ships. And when they got to the lands where they were going to be enslaved at, they were sold as slave men and slave women. That is a sign upon us, and it is a sign upon them that we are the 12 tribes of Israel, that we are a peculiar treasure unto the Lord. Ezekiel chapter 33 and verse 1. Again, the word of Yahweh came unto me, saying, Son of man, speak unto thy people, and say unto them, when I bring the sword upon a land, if the people of the land take command of their coast, and set him for their watchmen, the watchman's duty is to watch for danger. When a watchman sees danger, his duty is to let the people know that if you do not get prepared for the danger, you will be overthrown by the danger. So the Lord constantly has his hand stretched out unto the 12 tribes of Israel. But the fact that our ancestors went through the transatlantic slave trade, that is a sign unto us that we are the original Jews of God. We are the Lord's chosen people. Ezekiel chapter 33 in verse 11. Turn ye from your evil ways. Why will ye die, O house of Israel? So the house of Israel consists of a people. You got your blacks, North Americans, Hispanics, and Native American Indians. The Lord deals with those people only in the Bible. He deals with nobody else. The Lord is asking us, why are we choosing to die rather than choosing to live? Why do we continue to love simplicity? Why do we continue to disobey the Lord's commandments? And it is because we are destroyed. For the lack of knowledge, we are destroyed because we know not how to serve the Most High. We know not how to keep His commandments. So because we are destroyed, because we are discontinued from our heritage, because every other nation of people know their heritage and their culture on this earth, except for the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans, that is a sign, that is proof that we are the original Jews of the Bible. Now, shalom, that is my time. We are the disciples of Yahushua. We come on there day in and day out. teaching that the blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the original Jews of the Bible, and that the fact that we can relate to the transatlantic slave trade, that is a sign that we are the chosen people of God. So with that I say Shemai, Yasha Allah, Yahweh, Allah Yanawa, Yahweh Akah. That is, Hair O Israel, Yahweh our God. Yahweh is one, Shalom.